So welcome to this video. This video is going to be about rocking marketing on the LC level. My name is Camilla and I'm MCVP B2C, which means I'm in charge of OGV and marketing for Isaac in Finland this year. So what I'm going to be covering in this video is the basics of marketing, so what it is. I'm going to present 6 ways to do marketing on LC level. I'm going to present a little bit about how to run these offline marketing activities, and lastly give you some tips and tricks about how to do marketing on the LC level. So to begin, what is marketing? So marketing is defined as the action or business of promoting and selling products and services, including market research and advertising. So it's a lot more than just digital marketing, for example. It's a lot more than just events. It's a lot more than just getting signups for OGV. And it is not only the job of the MC, it's actually also the job of the LCs to make sure that they are implementing offline activities so that they can reach people, get the word out that we have these cool opportunities for young people all over Finland. We have 6 main ways of doing offline marketing in Isaac. Those are info stands, lecture bashes, events, university relations, emails, and posters and flyers. So I'm going to go through them one by one and explain a little bit about how it works, what you should take into consideration, and how to actually make it an amazing opportunity for you to get the word out about our projects. So first, let's get to the info stand. So the info stand is most likely the way that you found out about Isaac because it is our most common offline activity. So it is basically having a table in a hallway or somewhere in the university campus, or maybe in some other event where they have lots of tables with different organizations, and basically it's a way for you to directly talk to customers. So as I said, it's a table or booth in your campus where Isaacers approach and are approached by interested people. It is really important because you can talk to people directly, you can get people to sign up directly, you can even get people to give you their contact information and set up a consultation meeting directly, so it's really the most direct way of doing marketing. One thing to keep in mind when planning an info stand is you need to always be aware of what your target audience is. So make sure that you know what kind of students you want to get to your info stand. So for example, if you want to send education students in their 3rd year to OGV project in Romania, make sure that you are having a stand at the education faculty at a time where there are lots of education students around, so you can make sure that you are actually being approached and approaching the right kinds of people. So, a little checklist of what to do before, during, and after the info stand. So before the info stand, check with the university to make sure when and where you can set up a stand. They might have some rules about if you can have food, for example, or coffee at the stand, what location you can keep it in, how long. So make sure that you get familiar with the rules of your university. And also plan an attractive stand. So make sure that you have something to draw people in. You can see this info stand has roll-ups. It has the Isaac logo and the SDGs. The SDGs are really good because they start a conversation because many people recognize them already. Same on the table, they have the SDGs, they have the posters and some flyers, and the social media channels. There could be candies, for example, stuff like that. What to keep in mind during the info stand, it's really important for you not to stay behind the table. So go out and talk to people. Don't stay behind the table and expect people to approach you. Make sure that you are talking to people. Also, have people sign up directly on isaac.org. It's much easier than giving them a flyer because if you give them a flyer, it might get lost. So make sure that they sign up on isaac.org directly. So you can just say, hey, if you want more information, go sign up on isaac.org. And finally, schedule consultation meetings on the spot. So if someone has signed up, you can say, hey, would you be free next week at this time? We can have a consultation meeting. I can tell you some more information. If the people aren't ready to sign up on isaac.org at the stand, maybe that's an option. You can ask them to schedule a meeting with you instead. Then after info stand, this is where the magic happens. So make sure you contact all your signups within 24 hours. This is very, very important. Maybe even contact them directly after the stand so that no one is forgotten. And report on the results in your team meeting. So make sure that you always keep track of how many signups you got from each event so you can see and measure the effectiveness of your events. Next, lecture bash. So this is an opportunity for you to go in front of various lecturers and present some short, brief thing about Isaac that makes people want to sign up. So how to set up a lecture bash. the most important thing, as always, is to define your target audience. So what kind of students do you want to speak to? Do you want to speak to first years? Do you want to speak to business students? Make sure that you know what lectures they are having, what size they are. So what is the most amount of people you can reach at once? And you can find all this information on your university websites, for example, and talking to your friends if they study that certain thing, and see what kind of lectures they have. And find suitable ones, especially if they're related to the themes we discuss a lot in ISEC, like sustainable development or stuff like that. Next, you need to contact the professor and set up a time. So send them an email or go by their office if you happen to be somewhere nearby and decide what time you're going to have it. Make sure you have at least 10 minutes, preferably 15, and the best would be either at the beginning or the end of the class. So make sure that you have scheduled this enough in advance with the professors. Then practice your pitch. So decide what you're going to say to them, how you're going to get them involved, and then just do it. So make sure you arrive early and find the classroom so that you're not arriving late and missing the class. Make sure you're always on time to actually do your presentation and get those signups. So what exactly can you say in a lecture bash? So first and foremost, you need to introduce yourself, what you do. So you don't need to start with big statements like the ISEC way. You can just start with humor, maybe tell what exactly you do in ISEC, maybe a practical example. Make it catchy, make it just casual. You're a young person talking to young people, so don't take too much pressure from that. Then, draw attention. So you can use storytelling. So for example, you can tell a personal story, or you can have someone share a story of their exchange, for example. You can make it interactive. We can play a Kahoot game, for example, while explaining some things about ISEC. So make sure that you capture the attention of the audience. Finally, build awareness about ISEC, so you can mention some key facts, figures, numbers, to make them realize that ISEC is a big deal. And then finally, make sure you end with a very clear call to action. So, for example, sign up on isec.org. You can give out flyers at the door of the classroom. You can also have an info stand outside the classroom so that people can come and talk to you directly. Having these kinds of activities together can be a really good idea. And as always, follow up in 24 hours with everyone who has signed up and reporting on your results in the team meeting. Then events. So there are also other kinds of events that you can either organize, preferably with other organizations, or events that already exist that you can participate in. So as I said, events can be a great way to engage with people, but the best events are organized together with other organizations, so it's not the whole burden of the organization is not on you. So as always, I'm going to mention this time and time again, the key in event management is knowing your target audience. Who do you want to attend? What kind of event would interest them? Some examples of events we have had in the past are panel discussions about international opportunities. For example, if your university has an event promoting different kinds of international opportunities to students, you can have a panel discussion there where there are people talking about different experiences. Global Village is also a great one for people to see what exactly it is that ISEC does, which is cross-cultural exchange, learning about different cultures and showcase the fact that we're a very diverse organization. Another thing that you could consider if you have a lot of applicants who are having a hard time deciding where to go, for example, you could have speed dating with EPs and applicants. So EPs can tell about their experiences to people who are interested but are not yet entirely sure about where to go or when to go, stuff like that. What to keep in mind when organizing an event: make sure you have a goal. So make sure your event has a very clear purpose. Is it to get signups? Is it to push current signups to apply? So make sure you go into it with a plan. Then get ready. So prepare the logistics, get the word out. Make sure that you're promoting this event and getting people to come. You can have a great way to get people to commit to come to your events is to have a sign-up form. Just a simple sign-up form on Google Sheets, for example. But make sure that you are getting the word out, either putting posters, flyers, emails, talking about it at info stands, stuff like that. And then convert them all. So make sure you have a follow-up plan after the event to make sure all the interested people are contacted and converted. Universities can be a really powerful partner because a lot of our members and exchange participants are university students, so it is really important to be able to work with them to get the word out to all the students in the universities. So who exactly can be your ally in the university? A lot of universities have an international office, an office that coordinates different kinds of international opportunities like Erasmus exchanges, different kind of shorter term projects. so you can be in contact with the international office, see how you can work together. Other people to be in contact with our Erasmus Plus coordinators, because our global volunteer projects in Europe you can get Erasmus Plus funding for, so being in contact with them. Similarly for internship coordinators, so you can discuss things like what kind of availability is there in the university to get credits from a global volunteer experience, for example, and also project coordinators, so you can see if the university has some sort of longer term project that they are implementing to see if you can get on board. So here are some options that you can implement with the universities. You can have the AIESEC opportunities showcased at university events, for example, for new students, for returners, people looking for different kind of opportunities. You could get AIESEC onto the university website or somewhere on campus, for example, if they have some campus marketing space available. You can also ask to organize events in university spaces. Usually this is mostly free for all university students to use spaces, but make sure that you are able to do that. And then also looking for possible scholarships or funding for students to go on GV. As I mentioned, there's the Erasmus Plus funding for European projects, but other universities might have funding available for projects in other places outside Europe. So the next marketing activity that you can implement is emails. The targeted marketing emails through faculty newsletters or other student organizations are a great way to promote specific opportunities to specific kinds of students. So what you can do in these emails is make sure you promote specific opportunities for example, the SMART project in Brazil with a specific deadline to apply. Make sure you give detailed enough information on the project description. Reference different kinds of funding sources or courses that you can complete in your university by participating in projects. And as always, give a clear call to action. So here is an example email. This email is to promote the SMART project in Brazil, which is all about developing marketing skills and developing marketing plans for local NGOs for them to amplify their impact. And finally, one of our last ways to implement offline marketing is through posters and flyers. So you don't need to be a graphics genius for this. It is okay. This may seem like a very outdated method of offline marketing, but have you ever noticed how many posters there are around your campus or around public areas? So while posters and flyers won't give you direct signups, it can still help the students around your campus recognize the brand. And we should not take this lightly. The recognition of brand is really important. So ask your VP, team leader, or MCVP about posters or flyers that you can use in your LC. Finally, some tips and tricks that will help you actually rock marketing on the LC level. First of all, put it in your calendar. So make sure you have it scheduled. Make sure you have enough people participating in each activity so that you can make sure that it is actually happening. There's 2 golden questions. So who do you want to target and what is the goal of the activity? Always make sure you know what it is the kind of people you want to see in the event and what it is that you want to get out of it, whether it be a specific amount of signups or a specific amount of applicants, for example. So make sure that you always keep these 2 in mind. Always remember to follow up. Always remember to make sure people have information that was promised them in the events, and make sure you have a variety of events of offline activities for potential customers to engage with AIESEC in some way. So I mentioned before combining, for example, info stands and lecture bashes. So having an info stand right outside a lecture where you had a lecture bash, that's a great opportunity to have these variety of examples of what to do in offline activities. If you have any more questions, I would love to answer any of your questions, and I can't wait for you guys to rock marketing on the LC level.